स्टार्ट करें? एक प्रेयर है। इंट्रोड्यूस शुरू करें? So let me start with the prayer. है प्रार्थना गुरुदेव से यह स्वर्ग हम तो सभी से जो सोचेगा we have Alok Sethi ji today to discuss on the topic art of financial data analysis, data analytics, as well as storytelling under Power BI. तो जब इनका स्टोरी टेलिंग अंडर पावर बीआई का टॉपिक आया तो आई वाज एक्सपेक्ट की चलो आज कुछ कहानी सुनने को मिलेगी। तो मैंने कहा कि आलोक जी आप हमारे यहाँ आइए और इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे बात करिए। We met at practice की पाठशाला। So before he starts on this topic, I request Asta to introduce him to all our participants.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome CA Alok City, sir, a seasoned corporate trainer with over a decade of experience empowering professionals with advanced Excel skills and productive tools. As the founder of a financial planning service, he has helped countless individuals gain clarity and confidence in their financial decisions. Today, he will guide us through the world of Power BI, unlocking its potential for smarter financial analysis and reporting. Let's give a warm welcome to Sir. Over. Thank you.
So I look over to you. And wherever you feel that something need to be asked from Alusi, you can raise your hand and raise your hand. And I would like that our discussion becomes more interactive today.
I hope I'm audible. Yes, sir. Okay. So thank you, first of all, Bhupender sir and Kalani and Company for having me here for this session. And as I was informed that there's a batch of chartered accountants who have become CA right now. So I would like to again congratulate you on this path of clearing CA. Now,
वो अच्छा ये तुम्हारे से कनेक्ट
it's going the theme of the audience.
yes it's
Yeah. Okay. So the topic for this session is storytelling or learning the art of storytelling using Power BI, right? So, first of all, let us understand what is BI in Power BI, and I hope many of you would already be knowing what is Power BI. So, BI is business intelligence. Okay, and so far we have heard this word AI also, which is artificial intelligence, and the one intelligence which is Bhupender sir is the fan is of human intelligence, right? Yeah, HI. So we have HI, BI, and AI, right? And in all ways and means, AI and BI cannot supersede HI, right? So that is there. So with this note, we will start our session, and I should tell you that technology is our enabler which helps us in doing our work in a better way. But we should know our work first. So whatever we are studying in our CA curriculum, whatever knowledge we are getting from different subjects that we study, whether it is taxation or accounts or auditing and all, basis that knowledge, we will add more knowledge of technology, and that combination will make us unbeatable, and we can do a lot of things using technology. So my focus will be on helping you learn how you can use Power BI as an application to help businesses in understanding their financials better. Okay. As a chartered accountant, our job is to help the people or the organization that we are catering to in finding out, in meeting out the compliance requirements, or in just helping out with their uh, routine practices.
एक काम
But apart from that,
तो प्रेजेंटेशन आता रहेगा अभी ठीक है पीछे थोड़ा
uh, so now what I would be doing is I'm taking I'm sharing my screen now, and on the screen you will see on the screen my screen is it?
yes
Okay. So so we'll start with an introduction. I need to. I hope now it is better. It is fine. Okay, great. So as I mentioned that it is a storytelling session, and in that story we will learn Power BI, right? So it is not a it is obviously a technical session, but we'll not go into the technicalities at the very beginning. We will do this session in the form of a storytelling where you will be learning the art of visualization, but through a story. Okay. So let me ask you a question to everyone, and you all can respond. And people who have joined us online also through Teams, they can also reply in the chat box, and you can also participate. So you will be getting to see an image on the screen, and then I'll ask you a question, and then you have to answer. Okay. So what do you see on the screen? Nokia 3310. Okay. Now, if I ask you a question that question is, are you using this phone? Okay. Now there is a word added in the question. Are you still using this phone? No. But at certain point in time, maybe you had used, or maybe not, because this is a Gen Z I'm talking to, right? Because I remember that the first phone that I had bought when I was in Bombay and I was doing my articleship, this was the first phone that I used. And my father still has this phone as a backup or as a dummy phone. He doesn't use it now, but we have kept it as a monument, you can say, antique piece, right? So what has happened to this phone or this company Nokia, and why are you not using it? So you're not using it. That is a big no. No one is having this phone right now. But why have we stopped using this phone? Why are you not using it?
So it is not a smartphone. No innovation. Sir, it is not a smartphone. It is new features are cheaper.
Correct.
We have a lot of tasks that we can't do.
Exactly. So over the years, many things have changed. Technology is updated. Many new features are added. But this phone is still not updated. That is why we are not using it. So we have not stopped using it because it is not updated. Is it right? Okay. What is the opposite of updated? Outdated or obsolete, right? So something which becomes outdated, it is outlined also. It is not existing in the market. Now Nokia, which was the leading market player in the phone industry, now it is not having any position in the top 3, top 5, top 10 also, right? Why it happened? Because it did not change as per the changing time. Now, let me tell you a story, and let us assume that we all are different apps. Okay, so you all install app. So suppose we are all apps, and you want to install a new app in your phone. You want to install a new app into your phone, and when you try to download that app, let's say Power BI, we want to install in the phone. When we go to the application store, App Store, or your Play Store on Google, you click on the download button and it says no space. Okay, what will you do? Delete an existing app. Now, which will be that app which you are going to delete?
It is not used by us.
The one which is least usable, okay, and it will prompt you to delete to make some more space, and the phone will itself give you an idea or the usage. Like this is the app which you have not used for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and this is the size of the app, right? Now, my next question is if the app that you were not using, what it was doing in your phone?
It was used at some point before.
Because it was used at some point of time, and it is still there in your phone because you did not require that space. So it was occupying that space which was always available, but you never felt that it is necessary to delete this app. When you felt that I have to install a new app, you made a space and you deleted that app, right? Now I just asked you to imagine yourself as an app. You are all chartered accountants. Now you are working in an organization. Let's say you are working in Kalani. Kalani company is a big company. They are having so many vacancies and but now they are focusing on one stream of business, one is line of business, and now they want to update their people or they want to hire new professionals who are having certain expertise or area of expertise, but they don't have any vacancy because you're already there. What they will do?
Maybe create a vacancy by take out the existing.
First thing is training. They will train their internal staff because you have been working here. But if they find out that some of the staff or members or students are not trainable, or maybe they are not having that expertise or that forte in that particular area, what they will do, or any organization, they will be replaced, right? So the message is very clear that if you don't update yourself, then be ready to be replaced. It is very simple. And it not only applies to technology, it applies to any area, walk of life. If you are not updating yourself, then sooner or later in life, there will come a point that you will have to be ready for a replacement. Someone will replace you. Now, when it comes to AI, there is a question which is generally asked in all the conferences or all the webinars, seminars. When we talk about AI, will AI replace humans or chartered accountant or any other person? Because AI is doing all the work, right? So, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think? Will AI replace human ever? Or if it is going to replace, what it will replace? Whom it will replace?
It cannot completely replace that, but we can use AI to make our work better.
Correct.
We can use it optimally to make our work more to be more productive and make our work look better. And
Okay. Suppose I give you an example that in an organization there is an accountant. His job does. So is that replaceable? That person job is replaceable? Answer is yes. Because that can be automated. So any task, redundant task, or any task which is monotonous, or which can be repetitive, or which can be replaced by a machine, that can easily be replaced by a AI, right? So who are at risk? Who the persons who are doing monotonous tasks or who are doing repetitive tasks. For example, you are filing income tax returns, right? Now, suppose today I create a bot, which what it does, it takes your PAN number, it takes your password, it goes to the income tax portal, it downloads the 26 years, it studies the 26 years, it pull your data into the software, Computex or any other software, and it files your returns also. And I put all the checks and measures as per the Income Tax Act. So can it not replace a chartered accountant who is just doing the filing of return work? And let's say we have a category of returns, 100,000 employees or salary-based returns you have to file, where there is no complications, nothing. It can be easily automated, right? So what it cannot replace? Complex problems, right? So if the return is having some losses or some capital gain or some other property transactions or some crypto transactions which require a specific domain knowledge, that cannot be automated. That can also be automated, but to a certain extent. So what is the moral of the story? What is the learning from it? No, so you have to update yourself, but you don't have to update yourself on routine tasks. You have to update knowledge on a specific area or a domain which cannot be replaced or which is dynamic in nature. Because see, AI is also learning. So if you are using AI or BI or any other technology, we are feeding the technology. This is how this task is to be done. So if we are making the technology more powerful than at than us, if the technology knows more than what I know, then definitely I'm replacing. But if I know more than the technology which I'm feeding, then technology cannot replace. So the idea is that you have to keep on learning new things and those things which are the trending things or which are the specific things or specific knowledge, because once we become chartered accountants, we have got the basic knowledge or a domain knowledge of everything, accounts, audit, tax. Now you decide whether you want to go in taxation or any other particular stream of business, right? Or line of study. In that line, if you are the top 3% who a client should approach for a complex problem, then these top 3% can never be replaced, right? So suppose someone has to get the accounts audited and they say, okay, we'll go to Kalani because they are the best in it. Kalani is same. But there is some other company, Sharma and Associates. No one knows who is Sharma and Associates. They are chartered accountants, right? But they have not created their legacy or that standing in the industry. So that is what we need to create, right? Now, coming back to the story, we replaced Nokia, and Nokia was replaced by iPhone, smartphone, Samsung, because they went with the trend and they updated their technology, and now everyone is using it, right? So we have updated a big yes. Now, what is this? Potato. No one sees a gold over here.
Only one person can.
We are just waiting for that machine that will convert the potato gold, right? Now, this is a potato. You have answered correctly. But if I ask you what is the characteristics of this potato, one characteristics only. You don't have to give me so many. One raw potato.
Versatile.
Versatile. Yeah.
एक सबको भाता है.
सबको भाता है, सबके साथ जाता भी है. Like it can go along with anyone, mingle up with anyone, right? Or we can have multiple dishes. So the basic ingredient which we can see of this potato, it is raw. Correct? Now, if I ask you one more question, can you consume what you just saw?
Not in the raw form.
No, in this manner only can you consume it.
No, sir.
We cannot consume a raw potato, howsoever sweet it is, good it is, tasty it is. We cannot consume it in this format. Why? Because it is raw.
अगस्त में 50
I'm assuming,
ठीक है
and I'm sure that you had your lunch, right? Anyone who has not taken it? No. Okay. Now, can you consume this? And if you are a Rajasthani and if you're in Rajasthan, you cannot say no to this. Mirchi vada, right? Maybe some people will love burger and maybe some like aloo parathas, right? So all these dishes are created by single ingredient, which is aloo, potato. But few moments back, I asked you, can you consume a raw potato? You said no. And now I show you all these images, you're saying yes. Even after having lunch, you are saying yes. If you are served right now, you will not say. Some girls might say, no, no, we are on dieting. But still. Okay, now what is the difference in the previous image and this image? What is the difference?
It is cooked.
It is cooked, it is consumable. Why? What made it consumable? The process, the recipe, the ingredient, right? And what is more valuable, a raw potato or all these ingredients, all these items, all these burgers and all? So if you go to buy a raw potato, a single piece, 1 rupee, वो भी ज्यादा है. In 20-30 rupees kg, you can get a 1 kg potato. But if you want to buy a burger from McD, it costs you 40, 50, 60 rupees, something like that. If you want to buy a sandwich or a veggie bread or something, it will cost you more. So when you add a process and when you make it consumable, definitely the value also increases, right? So there are two transformation which has happened. One, we have converted something from a raw nature to a processed food item, which is valuable, which is consumed. Okay. Now I don't know how many of you read Economic Times or these news Mint or something like that. So there was a report which was published yesterday, or maybe on first, that on 31st December, which product? हाँ 2,45,000 orders on a single day on Blinkit of aloo bhujia. That is also a product of aloo only, right?
ये इन सब में यही है तो ये कह रहा है कि मैं बिजनेस करूंगा.
हाँ, right. So he has got this idea. Okay. But aloo bhujia was a byproduct. You know what was the main product? Which was ordered? Which we cannot say here. But soda, water bottles, right? So it was aloo bhujia was a byproduct along with the main product, right? But how these numbers came to the Blinkit? How many orders are getting placed? What kind of food people are ordering? What kind of drinks they're ordering? Okay, what all other items, cosmetic items were sold. 1,01,000 lipsticks on a single day last year, like 31st December. Okay, so all these figures, all these data is coming from websites, orders, online tracking, and a lot of analytics is done on this data so as to find out like what could be a business strategy to promote the sale of these products and to understand the sentiments of people. So that is why it is very important to understand and learn data analytics.
And not only this, अभी आपको एक मैंने देखा था, there was a notice to पानीपुरी वाला.
Yes,
40 lakh rupees.
40 lakh rupees.
तो वो अगर that means data analytics गवर्नमेंट कर रही है और आप नहीं करोगे तो आप कहाँ होगे? तो
Exactly.
जैसे इन्होंने नोकिया वाला भी एग्जांपल दिया कि साहब स्मार्टफोन्स जो है वो अपग्रेड हो रहे हैं, मतलब जो पहले फोन थे वो स्मार्टफोन में तब्दील हुए, फिर वो इनफैक्ट ओवरऑल एक डिफरेंट गैजेट हो गया. आज की डेट में वो फोन है ही नहीं, वो कुछ और ही है गैजेट, ये डिफरेंट गैजेट इज देयर. तो द पॉइंट इज दैट जैसे वो अपग्रेड हो रहे हैं वैसे ही हमारी सरकार भी पूरी अपग्रेड हो रही है. और सरकार के पास अपग्रेड होने के लिए दे कैन जो यूनियन बजट 2024 था, इट वाज 4,284 crore rupees of budget for 1 year by the government for IT infrastructures. तो जब सरकार हर साल 4,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा खर्च कर रही है अपनी आईटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे, इनोवेशंस पे, एआई पे, टेक्नोलॉजी पे, एज ए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, if we are not doing that, if we are not actually knowing that कि साहब हमारे को जो ट्रैक कर रही है वही इतना करी तो हम कहाँ करेंगे? मतलब we actually cannot compete with the government. No firm can compete with the government in terms of this information technology. तो जब वो डाटा एनालिटिक्स कर रही है तो हमारे को तो बहुत ही जरूरी हो गया है.
Correct. And just to add to what sir is saying, last year in July, August, I was called by the GST commissioner to conduct a session on how to use AI for fraud detection or doing GST audits from the department point of view. And I trained the department officer. So what is department doing? Actually, if we are training, chartered accountant is training our department on how to conduct GST audit, how to issue notice, and how to track whether the revenue is coming in the right stream or not. Then we as a CA should also be aware of these techniques which we can apply and put into practice. Okay. So the difference what we understood is the processing. Now let me take you to what we do. So we are using Excel not only from today, but from the day one we started your articles, right? So you're on a charted, but you started with articles over here. I think the first application which you had interacted with the पहली मुलाकात होती है, that first site, वो Excel के साथ ही होती है, right?
पहले मेरे साथ होती है फिर एक्सेल.
Right. So you meet the first and then you are introduced to, जब आप deck पे आके बैठते हैं काम करने के लिए, then you meet Tally, Excel and all this, right? So we have been using Excel over the years, but to what extent are we using Excel? That is the question to be asked, right? तो ये भी है कि हमें कितना गहराई में पता है, नॉलेज है या यूज करते हैं इसको, राइट? So now if you look at the data, so this is just an extract of a data in an image format. Now if I ask you some questions, okay, so the first question is, can you analyze this? or can you find out any meaningful information just by looking at this data? No. Why? बहुत रॉ है. ठीक है, कुछ कुछ एरर्स भी दिखाई देंगे. हैश जो डेट कॉलम आपको दिख रहा होगा वहां पे हैश नजर आ रहे हैं. So it is not processed, it is not organized, it is not clean, right? Okay, so we cannot do anything with this data until and unless we learn to process this data, right? So my next question is, can you process this data? Yes, obviously yes. And by using which application you can process? Excel itself, right? The data is in Excel, we can use Excel and we can process this data. We can put some formulas, we can create pivot tables, charts and all, and we can present it. Okay. Now, if I show you that I had processed the data and I created something like this. Now, if I ask you, can you do analysis? Can you find out some meaningful information from this data? What do you see on the screen? What will be your answer?
बहुत presentable form में है कि समझा जा सकता है कि
Correct. What are the two numbers you can see on the screen?
Current year.
previous year
Correct. You can see CY sales, current year sales, previous year sales, and then YOY growth, year on year growth, right? So out of that data, we actually got one number, which is the current year sale, and then we got a connection with that number, which is the last year sale. And then what we did is we found out a percentage increase. What is the percentage increase on a year basis? Not only that, if you see above that, we have some slicers or some filters like regions. So if the company is working in 4 regions, central, eastern, south, west, so we can click on any region and we can find out what is the sales happening in this particular region. Then if we click on segment, we'll be able to get the segment wise data. If we click on the category, then we can get category wise data like that. Okay. And then below that, if you see, you will be able to see a table which is having more detail as to the data, right? Product wise data, category wise data, subcategory wise data, what is the profit, what is the sale, whether we are increasing or decreasing like that. Okay. Now tell me, how many of you know at this moment to create a dashboard in Excel? How many of you can create such kind of report in Excel? I show you a raw data, and this is the finished product, right? Now tell me, is this marketable? If you go with the client, if a client is there and you say, sir, so far we have been your auditors and we are doing a lot of things for you. Now, from this year onwards, we want to start a new relationship with you all, and we are going to help you with your business analytics. We are going to show you which segment you are doing good, which product you're not doing good, which area is good, which month your sales are more, which month your sales are not good, which month you felt there was a deficiency in the cash flows and all, which one there was a surplus cash which could have been invested in like this. So if you give all these insights to your clients, don't you think it can be a new avenue of work for you, right? And everyone would be wanting to get such kind of insights into the business, because whatever we are doing so far and whatever the clients are getting so far is because of the government pressure, isn't it? गवर्नमेंट ने बोला 5 करोड़ तक ऑडिट नहीं करना चाहिए, कोई आता है कराने, किसी नहीं फिर भी मैं कराना. There are hardly few clients who says no, you do the audit because audit is helping me. Why we have to do the audit? Because it is a compliance burden. If it is not compulsory, no one will opt for it, right? But if we are able to add some value to our client by giving this kind of insights, they would rather be interested in doing this, okay, getting this done. Now, how much time do you think it will take for you to create this kind of dashboard in Excel? No, you have to define, like, lot means what? 2 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 2 days. No, it is your data. How will you find in Google? The process to create a dashboard, suppose you know, Okay, but to do that process, it will take some time, right? Everyone must be knowing how to create a pivot table. So you create a pivot table, then you create sizes, and then you can create a dashboard. But it will take around 2 to 4 hours to create, to conceptualize, to design, to apply, right? And secondly, there is a limitation of Excel. What is the limitation of Excel? How many rows of data it can support? How many rows of data is in there in Excel? 10,48,576. See, we were talking about exact knowledge. Okay, so everyone is knowing Excel. You are using Excel from last 3 years, 4 years, but you're not aware about the number of rows because we never thought like this. Ki someone will ask you how many rows in there in Excel, but we should know that there are 10,48,576 or a million row data we can analyze. What is the number of sale that happened of Aloo Bhujia on 31st March? 1 lakh. That is on one day. If we talk about the number in a month, it will be more than 10 lakh or not, right? So it is something which we are consuming on a monthly basis. The data volume of data with the e-commerce companies will be much bigger than what Excel can support. Excel gets ended over here 10,48,576. And if we talk about the number of columns, what are the number of columns Excel has? 16,384 number of columns, right? So that is the limitation of Excel. Secondly, thanks to ChatGPT or Google or AI.
Excel में formula रहती है.
Excellent formula. Yeah. Okay, great. So yes, there is a formula of column in Excel. If you just type this column, it will give you the column number. Okay. So 16,384 is what the columns are there in Excel, right? Secondly, how many files can you open in Excel? What kind of file format you can open in Excel? Text file or a CSV file or an Excel file. Can you open a PDF into Excel? Now the answer is yes. If you go to data, then there is the option of get data from PDF. But how far it will be good, how like we'll be able to get the proper information or not, we don't know. But there are only few sources which can connect, you can take data from. Can you take the data from SAP into Excel or any ERP into Excel or Zoho into Excel or QuickBooks into Excel? Yes. But there has to be some connector or you have to export that file into Excel and then import it to Excel, right? But if I tell you that my client data is on SQL server, from that SQL I have to get the data into Excel. Not possible. Not possible. Okay. So we should have a tool which will help us in getting the data from any source whatsoever it may be. Okay. And that is what where Power BI has an edge. So Power BI can connect to 150 plus data sources. And some of those data sources you might not have heard of also. And they keep on increasing the number of data sources through which we can connect the data. So number one is this. Second, there is no limitation as to the rows or data or the volume of data. Third, you can update it online and multiple people can work on the same file at a time and you can share it and you can do a real-time discussion with the client on their data. And the dashboard can be updated on the client mobile also because it has a mobile application. Right now, if you're using Tally, I think everyone is using Tally. So Tally has also come up with a gold edition, and in the gold edition of Tally, they are providing a dashboard of the business in Tally itself. So it is not a new concept; it was already there, but now it has become popular because the volume of data has increased, right? And the speed at which the data travels or it gets manipulated, that also is increased. So that is why this session is there, and you are here, and I'm here to help you in understanding how to use Power BI, right? So I think the mood is set and now you know okay, what we are going to do. Now let us understand how we are going to work with Power BI. Okay. So why I'm taking up help of Excel because everyone is accustomed to use Excel and everyone is knowing how Excel is used, right? Now, what is Power BI? Power BI is another product of Microsoft. Excel was introduced in which year? Any idea? 1994 minus 10. 84. I was born in 1986. So even so before Excel, Lotus was there. DOS version, Windows का तो आप लोग ने शायद वो कभी command prompt भी नहीं देखा होगा, if I'm not wrong. Okay, but I learned that DOS thing and then moved to Windows based system. So this is what you can see on my screen. If you can see on the screen, this was the window which we used to work on, right? And then we used to say CD, change directory to D, and then we used to come to D drive, and then import file, write file, all these things. Now this is all history. No one uses that, right? So now we have transited from Excel to Power BI. Power BI is a data visualization tool. Okay, now what is visualization? If you have to define visualization, what is visualization? Pictorial presentation. We can say that visualize your success. Before giving your exam, you say visualize that you have become a chartered accountant. So you are having that image of what will happen when I become a CA, people congratulating me and all these things, right? So you are visualizing. So it is a pictorial representation of something that is called as visualization. Now, when we talk about data visualization, what is data visualization? When you are presenting the data into visuals, it is data visualization. And what is Power BI? Power BI is a tool or an application which helps you in converting your data from a tabular format or a raw format to a visual format. And which is not only a slide or an image in a PPT which you just show in a pictorial form. It is a dynamic data. Now, what is dynamic data? Real time, like BSc, NSC. Okay, you must have opened your Demat account by now, I guess, or earlier also. कितने लोगों का Demat है पहले से? Right. और कितने लोग इस प्रोसेस में क्या ओपन कर लेते?
सबके हैं,
सबके. Right.
ऐसा सवाल है.
So every day you must be watching BSc, NSC. ठीक है, आपको portfolio आप check करते हैं, तो dynamically it keeps on changing. Some days it is green, some days it is red, like that. ठीक है, तो dynamically change हो रहा है, and on the basis of that dynamic changes, we take decision whether to hold the security or buy or sell or whatever. Similarly, when we work in Power BI, our data source is there. We connect the data to Power BI, and then we update our dashboard, and on the basis of that, a decision is taken. So this is the story behind Power BI and how it works. Right now, I'll deviate from here and I'll take you to Bollywood. Okay, I think all must be a fan of Bollywood over here.
हो गया.
और हॉलीवुड के ज्यादा हो गए, नेटफ्लिक्स के हो गए, ओटीटी के ज्यादा हो गए. चलिए ठीक है. So I don't know how many of you know would be knowing about that movie, but there was a movie when I was young actually. I'm still young, but yes, when I was studying CA, there was a movie which had come, which is धड़कन, सुनील शेट्टी वाली. आप लोगों को याद है? Yes, sir. उसका एक गाना आया था, तुम दिल की धड़कन, वो सुना है ना?
सबके पेरेंट्स वो वाला गाना.
हाँ, पेरेंट्स वाला गाना, राइट. और उसमें सुनील शेट्टी, शिल्पा शेट्टी एंड अक्षय कुमार, देयर वाज अ ट्रायो, राइट. शिल्पा शेट्टी का नाम था अंजलि, है ना? याद आ रहा है? अंजलि. और सुनील शेट्टी, हाँ, क्या बात है, clap for her everyone. So there was a dialogue which she has already said, but वो सुनील शेट्टी के स्टाइल में अच्छा लगता है ना?
आलोक शेट्टी भी बोल सकता है.
हाँ. तो उसका मैं आपको थोड़ा सा वो पूरा डायलॉग एक बार विजुलाइज करके दिखा देता हूँ, क्योंकि विजुलाइजेशन पढ़ रहे हैं, है ना? So Anjali meets Sunil Shetty, that is Dev, and Dev was very poor guy. So they both fell in love, but then Ram comes into the picture, which is Akshay Kumar, which is a rich guy. And then you know what happens when a rich guy comes in a life of a poor guy. That poor guy became more poorer because Shilpa then moved to the rich guy. Okay, so Anjali meets Akshay Kumar, that is Ram, और उसको मिलती है सुनील शेट्टी को, देव को, तो उसको बोलती है तुम मुझे भूल जाओ एंड मत आओ इतने करीब मेरे मत आओ इतने करीब, मैं तुम्हें बर्बाद कर दूंगी, है ना. एंड देन सुनील शेट्टी इज एडमेंट, इसे मैं बर्बाद होना चाहता हूँ. है ना. एंड देन दैट डायलॉग्स कम्स कि मैं तुम्हें भूल जाऊं ये हो नहीं सकता और तुम मुझे भुला दो ये होने नहीं दो. ठीक है, तो ये होने नहीं दूंगा. नाउ व्हाई दिस स्टोरी हियर इन पावर बीआई, क्योंकि इसमें एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टर है देव. देव इज इन हिंदी इज द भगवान, वी कॉल इट देव. ठीक है. अब देव को जब अंजलि छोड़ के चले गई तो देव को रिवेंज लेना था अंजलि से, तो ही वेंट टू यूएस टू अर्न मनी, एंड व्हेन ही रिटर्न फ्रॉम यूएस ही रीनेम हिमसेल्फ एज देव, DAVE, इंग्लिश वाला. ठीक है, तो देव से देव हो गया, DAV. एंड देन ही स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन पावर बीआई, मेक मोर मनी. ठीक है. ठीक है, उस समय नहीं था, अभी आ गया है. ठीक है. तो व्हाट इज देव इन पावर बीआई? DAV इज अ प्रोसेस, 4-step प्रोसेस ऑफ विजुअलाइजेशन. ठीक है, तो D stands for discover. So when you look at the data, what you should do first? Discovery. जब हम audit assignment लेते हैं तो what we do? We do discovery only, right? We understand how the data is, we take a sample, and then we find out how much audit to do, what process we should apply. ठीक है, तो discovery करते हैं. तो we discover the data कि कितने रो का डेटा है, कितने कॉलम का डेटा है, क्वालिटेटिव है, क्वांटिटेटिव है, all these things. Once you understand the data, then what you do? A for analyze. So DA. So we do analysis, data analysis. Okay. So we try to analyze the data. Okay. If the sales is there, then I can find out month-wise sales, quarter-wise sales. So we do analysis. Once you do analysis, then on the basis of that analysis, you create visuals. So you visualize. So discover, analyze, visualize. How do you visualize data? Charts, graphs, maps. Okay. So now you can put a trend line and you can see how the graph is going. Okay. So visualize. And what is the last word? E stands for. What do you name?
Results are out go.
Okay, so you are right to some extent. It can be execution on the data, evaluation of the data, examination of the data. Okay, but I have a more better word. Or can you come up with some more better words in E? Starting with E. Something big. सर ने कहा बड़ा विजन रखो. एग्जामिन से भी ऊपर. ई से और क्या अच्छा वर्ड हो सकता है? Someone X सुनाई दिया मुझे. X कुछ किसी ने X का नाम
वो वाला X नहीं, ये वाला X.
वो वाला X नहीं. X से explore. So we can explore the data. We can go for an exploration. So we start with discovery and then we go to exploration. Okay, and in between we do analysis and visualization. So this is the whole story of Power BI. We start with discovery of data, then we analyze it, visualize it, and then we explore the possibility of where we have gone wrong, what happened wrong, what we could improve, how we can multiply our sales or increase the profit. So we can do a lot of exploration. Okay. So now with this, let us go to the practical aspect. This is what the day process I explained you. Discover, analyze, visualize, and explore. Now, all these things you can do in Excel also, but in Excel, there are a lot of limitations I already told you, right? Now, suppose we want to do a GSC reconciliation, simple GSC reconciliation, which you already do, right, for other clients. So we have two files. One is the file which is generated from Tally. Other one is from the GST portal, right? Now, if I give you two files and two data set, can you create a pivot table using both the two different files? One pivot table using two files, two sheets? Yes or no? For creating a pivot table, we should have data in one sheet, correct? Because when we create a pivot table, it asks for a range of data. So we select one range, one data sheet. But here the data is coming from two different ranges, two different sheets. Is it possible to create a pivot table? No. The answer is no. Okay. But to your notice or to your surprise, I would say yes. Yes. But pivot से नहीं होगा. तो किससे होगा? Power pivot. Correct. You have to add the word power. क्योंकि अगर एक इंजन है और उसका धक्का दे रहे हैं, उसकी कैपेसिटी है वो वहां तक ही काम कर सकता है. अगर आपको ज्यादा काम करवाना है तो आपको इंजन की पावर बढ़ानी पड़ेगी. करेक्ट. So when we add power to power pivot, what happens is power pivot gives the option of adding data from multiple data sources, and you can create a table, a model, data model, and from that data model it will have a common point. ठीक है. अभी हम पावर बीआई की जब बात करते हैं तो पावर बीआई में जो फर्स्ट स्टेप इज टू कनेक्ट द डेटा, कनेक्ट विद द डेटा सोर्स. ठीक है. अभी आई टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ सर. संडे का कि आई डोंट यूज लैपटॉप, या मैं वो सिखाता हूँ कि लैपटॉप कैसे काम नहीं करता. चलो हम उसी जोन में जाते हैं और मैं बोलता हूँ अगर आपको इंसान के साथ कनेक्ट करना है, किसी के साथ भी, तो आप किसके साथ कनेक्ट करोगे, या ऑन व्हाट बेसिस यू विल चूज दैट कनेक्शन. क्योंकि एक डिग्री तो हमें मिल गई सीए की, अब दूसरी वाली डिग्री की एक बैचलरहुड से आपको, है ना. सो आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट कनेक्शन. तो वो वाला कनेक्शन कैसे एस्टैब्लिश होता है? हाउ डू यू चूज अ लाइफ पार्टनर? हाँ, then compatibility, correct. That means there has to be something common. If I have to connect with you, why I'm here today, because we are all having a common objective of sharing knowledge or learning and new things, right? There has to be something common. So when we create a data model, there has to be something common. So what will be common in GST when the data is coming from Tally and GST portal? GSTIN and the invoice number, right? So GSTIN will be from the macro level, and at the micro level it will be what? Invoice. So you can do two reconciliation, one at the macro level, supplier wise, and then we can do a micro reconciliation by the invoice wise, right? Okay. So now let us go into detail and let's see how to use Power BI. Okay. Now see, can you create some kind of this chart in Excel, India map, and showing the different. See, when you go to GST website, it gives you a table every month. What is GST collection in different states? But do you get to see a India का map और उसमें हर एक स्टेट के सामने रेवेन्यू दिखा रहा है? No. अगर वो टेबल की जगह अगर वो मैप दिखाए और उसमें नंबर दिखाए तो that will be more visually appealing, right? It's possible, right? So that can be done using Power BI. If your data has that location, geotagging. So we are going to do that now. Okay. So with this, let us now switch to the application itself. Okay. So far we have built a base which was necessary to understand why we have to learn Power BI, because I have seen, sir, that there is a trend here that every Saturday you do a webinar, right? And then speaker is presented with the book, and the top three persons also some get some books, right? So book has a very important role to play in your life. It has a power to change your life also. Okay, if you read the right kind of books, and they can be a good or best friend also, right? So there is a book that I will also recommend. Maybe you have read that is Start with Why. Simon Sinek. Start with Why. Okay, that books actually tell you the purpose of doing whatever you do. Okay, So if someone is saying, okay, I'm giving CA, but I'm not getting cleared, 2 attempt हो गया, 3 attempt हो गया, should I or should I continue giving? So how would you one will reach to that answer? Should I quit or should I continue? You have to ask the question why you started doing CA. किसने कहा था, है ना? और फिर लोग बोलते हैं उसी को ढूंढ रहा हूँ जिसने मुझे कहा था CA कर दो. Right? So first you have to find the purpose of you doing CA, whether you wanted to do it or is it your parents or whatever. ठीक है? और जब वो आपको why your purpose clear होता है ना, then it makes more sense of pursuing whatever you're doing. So that books will help you in doing that. Okay. Now I hope everyone has downloaded Power BI. Okay. So now we will open Power BI desktop application. And now I will show you a practical approach of using Power BI. Okay, so any questions, anyone right now before we get anything that you want me to talk about or anything that you have not understood so far or any questions at this moment? Yes. Okay, a good question in fact. Power Query and Power BI. Okay, now let me tell you what is the meaning of the word query. First, you explain. Doubt. Okay, query. Okay. Now, what happens in a Power Query? What is a query in the terms of computer language? Okay. Have you heard about SQL? Yes. What is SQL? Structured Query Language. Okay. So why where SQL is used where the data is huge and you want to query any data. So when you go to Amazon or Flipkart and when you look for iPhone 16, out of lakhs of product, it gives you iPhone 16 and tells you the price. How does that function website works? So it works on a structured query language. So it is a query that you are doing. You are writing a query about a word, about a product, and it is looking at a database which is having thousands and lakhs of products and matching that word and giving you the exact details. Okay, so if you write iPhone, it will give you 10 options: iPhone 10, 15, 16, 16 Pro. When you refine it more, I do latest version, exact thing, right? Now, what will Power Query does? Power Query will help you in cleaning your data. So if you want to remove anything from the data, if you want to clean your data, if you want to separate your data. So what happens when we do a reconciliation, GST reconciliation? Sometimes there are multiple invoices which can be same number. Some suppose the by mistake the accountant has given same number to the invoice and Tally did not disallow it or something, did not stop him, or maybe he's giving writing manually and he's creating his own Excel and coding. So there are duplicate invoices. Now you want to find out all the instances where the invoice is a duplicate number. How will you come to know? Conditional formatting in Excel, right? In Power Query, you can find duplicates also. You can remove them. So Power Query is a bridge between Excel and Power BI. Similarly, suppose every month your client is giving you or you want to do a reconciliation. So every month you are downloading 2B from the website, right? Now only at the end of the year you get a combined file. But by the end of the year, in between, you have to do a quarterly analysis or a half-yearly review. So you download the month's file, every month file, and you clump them. How do you clump them? Manually. Copy paste. Can copy paste cause error? Possibility. एक आध लाइन आइटम भूल गए, जल्दी में कॉपी करा, एरर हो सकता है, ठीक है. प्लस दूसरा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग भी हो सकता है, तीसरा इरिटेटिंग भी हो सकता है. मैनुअल है ना, उसमें कोई हम सीए हैं तो हमारा टाइम अगर ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजों में जाएगा तो फिर वैल्यू नहीं है, इसका मतलब नहीं है ना, पॉइंट नहीं है. So it can be monotonous, it can be erroneous, it can be boring, it can be time taking process, irritating at times. So what we can do is we can automate this work using Power Query. I'll show you. So if you have month-wise 5, 6 months file, which is in the same format, you can append or combine those files using Power Query without any error. And that process will take only 5 to 7 minutes. of time. And when you put more file into a folder, suppose you have created a folder of a client and there are 1 quarter has happened and you have 3 files. Now, after the fourth month or the fifth month, fourth month file, 5 month file, you copy in that folder. And there is a master file which you have created, which has all the month's data. Now, when you just refresh that file, it is taking the other month's data also without actually copy pasting. Is it possible? Do you think is it possible? You have created one master file where you have copied Jan, Feb, March data. Now, let's say April, May, June has also come and you want to combine it, club it. Without actually copy pasting, is it possible to combine that file? No, but Power Query can do that. So Power Query is a very powerful tool, but if I just keep on talking like this, you will not understand. Let us go and do it hands-on. Okay, so everyone open Power BI now and see what we are going to do is for the purpose of saving time and to be consistent with everyone, what we are going to do is we are going to start with the sample data which is available in Power Query itself, Power BI itself. Okay, so no sharing of file, nothing. We'll start with this and then I'll share one file and then we'll work on it. Okay, so what you will do is this is the first window that you see when you open Power BI. Here you will see different sources like Excel, SQL, blank report, and there is one source which says learn with sample data. Click on this, learn with sample data. Now, two ways to use sample data: launch tutorial and load sample data. You need not want a tutorial because I'm here, right? So we will directly load the sample data. So we'll click on the sample data, and it is inbuilt data which is stored in when you download Power BI. That file also get downloaded. Okay. तो आप पूछेंगे डेटा आया कहाँ से? ये पावर बीआई के सर्वर पे आया है और आपके सिस्टम में स्टोर्ड है, बट कहाँ है अभी हमें नहीं पता चलेगा. I'll show you the location of the file also, and we'll open that file in Excel also, right? So now when you open this, you will see something called as navigator. Now, what is the word of navigator? Navigation. Path find करना, direction. ठीक है? So when you see navigation option, you have to choose one path. You cannot go in two paths, right? Now it is giving you two options. So there is financial statement.xls. In that you are getting one financials and one sheet one. Now can anyone tell me what is the difference between the two? Just looking at the icon, can you make any difference? Okay, now, okay, I got your inputs. Now let's do one thing. Let's click on sheet one. So it is a worksheet, I can say, right? Excel has worksheets and the collection of worksheet is called as a workbook. Correct? अच्छा, इसको click करा हमने. Now what do you see? Do you see the data appearing on the right hand side? Now do you see segment, country, product, all these things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now do one thing, uncheck this sheet one and click on this financials. What do you see? Uncheck sheet one and now click on financials. What data do you see? Same data. Is it? That means the data is same in both the things. Then what is the difference? If the data is same, what makes the difference?
But if there would have been sheet 2, then only sheet 2 data would have been shown. If we unselect sheet 1 and sheet 2 is selected.
Okay.
Because we are selecting the workbook itself and we are removing sheet 1 from it.
Okay. So what is this financial and what is this sheet one?
So the financial is the workbook itself. It completes all the sheets which are in it.
That is properly defined.
Okay, I'll give you one hint. Where have you put your laptops? This financial is a table inside your workbook. Okay. Now we are getting into the technicalities of it. Okay. Now what is the table inside Excel? Any data that you create, is it a table? Or you have to create a table?
Yeah.
What is the shortcut? Control T. Correct. Okay. Now let us first import this data. Now, should I import the table or should I import sheet one? That is the first question you have to ask yourself. Depends. See, never answer yes or no. Okay. Some answers are depends also. ठीक है, तो आपको हाँ या ना नहीं या एक चॉइस नहीं हो सकता. उसके बाद आपको कई क्वेश्चन का आंसर करने के लिए दूसरा क्वेश्चन भी पूछना पड़ता है. तो मैंने आपसे पूछा कि आप शीट 1 सेलेक्ट करोगे या फाइनेंशियल सेलेक्ट करोगे. आपको काउंटर क्वेश्चन पूछना था, करना क्या चाहते हो. है ना, what you want to process depend on that I would select, right? So if I want to select multiple tables inside one sheet, then I have to select sheet 1 because it will have multiple data, multiple tables. But if I want to process or if I want to analyze the data only in one table, then I will select that particular table. Okay. Now, in this file, there is one sheet and that one sheet has one table and only the single tables. That means दोनों का डेटा क्या है, सेम है. समझ में आ रहा है, डेटा सेम है ना. आपने अभी देखा, चाहे इस पे क्लिक करे उस पे क्लिक करे, डेटा सेम है. तो डज इट मेक एनी डिफरेंस कि मैं क्या सेलेक्ट कर रहा हूँ. कुछ फर्क पड़ रहा है. हाँ, जब तक और शीट नहीं होती या नया टेबल नहीं होता, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, कुछ भी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. सो राइट नाउ आई एम सिलेक्टिंग शीट. एवरीवन सेलेक्ट शीट. अगर आप फाइनेंशियल भी सिलेक्ट करोगे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. एंड आई शो यू, हम लोग एक एनएससी का डेटा लेके आएंगे, उसमें मैं आपको मल्टीपल शीट्स और मल्टीपल टेबल के कंसेप्ट भी बताऊंगा. ठीक है, अभी इस पे काम कर रहे हैं. नाउ देयर आर 3 ऑप्शंस दैट यू कैन सी ऑन द बॉटम. लोड, ट्रांसफॉर्म डेटा एंड कैंसिल. व्हाट शुड वी गो विथ?
करना क्या है.
He is a fast learner. है ना, जल्दी से इसने सीख लिया. अभी तो बताया था कि कोई भी आंसर डायरेक्टली नहीं देना है. करना क्या चाहते हो, है ना, करना क्या है हमें. डायरेक्टली लोड करिए या डिफरेंस क्या. यू शुड आस्क, सी द आस्क, द मोर यू आस्क क्वेश्चंस द मोर यू विल गेट नॉलेज. है ना, तो जितना आप पूछेंगे उतना आप सीखेंगे, उतना ही. और नहीं पूछेंगे ना, और कई बार क्या होता है, हम अजम्पशंस के बेसिस पे चल लेते हैं. ठीक है ना. अब आपको अजम्पशन के बारे में कुछ पता है. अज्यूम वर्ड जो है ना, and pardon me for this, but this is a lesson which I got to learn from someone and which I'm passing it down to you. If you break this word ASSUME, इसको ब्रेक करते हैं.
AWS पहले,
AWS पहले, U बीच में, मी साइड में. अब AWS वो वाला ऐसे गधे वाला. ठीक है. तो AWS is a donkey also, right? तो अगर आप किसी चीज को अज्यूम करके चल रहे हो, क्या अज्यूम करके चल रहे हैं, सर ने, आई वुड लाइक, बेसिकली क्या होता है ना कि हम जब एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक फैमिली मेंबर्स होते हैं तो हम कई बार भूल जाते हैं कि यार हमें किसी को ग्रेटिट्यूड देना है या रिगार्ड देना है, ऐसा है ना. आई विल रिगार्ड सर. सर ने ही कॉल्ड मी एट 2:30. सर आप निकल गए ना, 3:30 सेशन है एंड आई वाज कंप्लीटिंग. मेरा सेशन 2 बजे था सर, 2:15 तक खिंच गया बिकॉज क्वेरीज एंड ऑल. देन आई रश्ड एंड आई जस्ट हैड कॉल्ड द ड्राइवर कि आ जाओ, आई एम जस्ट लीविंग. और सर चेक्ड ऑन मी, राइट. अगर ये अजम्पशन लेके चलते कि हाँ सर तो निकल गए होंगे, पहुंच जाएंगे, तो फिर बात नहीं होती है, फिर हम रीशेड्यूल नहीं कर पाते हैं. तो व्हेन यू डोंट टेक assumptions and you check on the other person, you save your life also, you save the other person also. Okay, so you never assume anything, so you will be getting ahead. So whenever you have a doubt, ask. AWS को ASK से replace कर दो, है ना. Ask questions. The more questions you ask, the more you will learn. Now, what is the, and secondly, you should learn how to ask the right questions to get the right answer. So what is the right question, and that is what people are getting paid. Prompt engineering. चैट जीपीटी, एआई में क्या होता है, आप चैट जीपीटी से वो काम करवाएंगे जो आप उसको अच्छे से बता पाएंगे, बट अच्छे से बताना भी तो आना चाहिए. एंड दैट इज व्हाई पीपल आर गेटिंग, इंजीनियर्स आर गेटिंग पेड फॉर इट, टू राइट दैट क्वेरी इन अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड मैनर. आई बीन एन एग्जामिनर विद द इंस्टीट्यूट आल्सो. तो इंस्टीट्यूट में जो पेपर चेकिंग होता है तो स्टेप वाइज मार्किंग होती है. इफ यू मिस अ स्टेप यू विल लूज दैट मार्क्स. आंसर सही है, स्टेप्स गलत है या खा गए बीच में, उड़ा दिया आपने तो नंबर कम मिलेंगे, ठीक है। तो एवरी स्टेप काउंट्स, तो यहाँ पर भी वही है। नाउ यू हैव टू आस्क द राइट क्वेश्चन। द राइट क्वेश्चन टू आस्क इज, सर व्हेन डू वी क्लिक ऑन द लोड बटन एंड व्हेन वी हैव टू क्लिक ऑन द ट्रांसफॉर्म बटन। दोनों ही ऑप्शन है ना, दोनों ऑप्शन दिए मतलब दोनों ही काम में ले सकते हैं, कब कौन सा काम में लेना है। नाउ लेट मी आंसर दिस। नाउ व्हेन यू नो दैट द डेटा इज क्लीन, it doesn't require any cleaning, or it doesn't have any errors, or it is complete, all the columns are okay, and this is the data that you want to use for analysis, then you can directly click on load and you can load the data. But when you are not sure what the data is proper or not, are all the records complete or not, do I want to add any column or not, if you're not sure, then what is the better approach? So we'll go with the better approach. We'll click on transform data. And what is your name? That girl from Premada. She had asked a question about Power Query. Ma'am, can you see something on the screen? Okay. So now we are entering the world of Power Query Editor. ठीक है, इसका पूरा नाम जो है वो है पावर क्वेरी एडिटर। एडिटर का क्या मतलब होता है? एडिट, एडिट, EDIT, ऑल्टर करना, मॉडिफाई करना, जैसे हम लोग करते हैं लास्ट ईयर की ऑडिट रिपोर्ट निकालते हैं, सेव एज इस ईयर का नाम एडिटिंग चालू हो जाती है उसके ऊपर। ऐसे ही होता है ना, मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस में ऐसे ही होता है, ठीक है। बैलेंस शीट में भी ऐसे ही होता है, P&L में भी ऐसे ही होता है। हम एडिट करते हैं, मॉडिफाई करते हैं, बिकॉज स्ट्रक्चर इज सेम, वी वांट टू चेंज द नंबर्स, ठीक है। टाइम भी बचता है उससे, लेकिन एरर होने के चांसेस होते हैं अगर कहीं कोई चीज रह गई गलती से, है ना। और कई बार आई डोंट नो, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ है कि बहुत सारी बड़ी मल्टीनेशनल बड़ी कंपनीज के, लिस्टेड कंपनीज के एनुअल रिपोर्ट में भी दैट पुट सम अदर ईयर का डेटा, क्या डेट चेंज करना भूल गया, ऐसा भी कई बार हुआ है ना। तो वी हैव टू बी वेरी विजिलेंट। तो अब हम यहाँ पर क्या कर रहे हैं, वी आर गोइंग टू ICAI बोल रही हूँ मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाह रहा था एक्चुअली, एनीवेज गलती किसी से भी हो सकती। नाउ तो वी हैव एंटर्ड इनटू पावर क्वेरी एडिटर, ठीक है। अब ये पावर क्वेरी एडिटर किसके जैसा दिख रहा है? लेकिन ऐसा है नहीं, एक्सेस जैसा दिख रहा है ना। अब कई लोगों ने तो एक्सेस देखा भी नहीं होगा, क्योंकि कभी एक्सेस ही नहीं किया, है ना। IT में देखा था, हाँ पर क्या तुम्हें याद है? ठीक है। तो अब ये जो MS एक्सेस है, ACCS, इट इज बेसिकली अ डेटाबेस टूल, डेटाबेस है जहां पर आप डेटाबेस क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, है ना, MS एक्सेस। तो यहाँ पर आप टेबल्स क्रिएट करते हैं, ऑल दीस थिंग्स, बट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू इट राइट नाउ। वो वर्ड आया था इसलिए मैंने आपको ये खोल के दिखाया। ये थोड़ा थोड़ा एक्सेल, वर्ड, पावर पॉइंट, ये सब माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक ही फैमिली के मेंबर्स हैं, एक जैसे ही दिखेंगे, लेकिन सबका पर्पस क्या है, अलग अलग, करेक्ट। So it looks like MS Access or Excel, but it is way much more powerful than Excel, and that you will come to know shortly why it is much more powerful. Now see, we are able to see the data over here. Data दिख रहा है आपको, ठीक है। How many rows and how many columns? Quick question. कैसे पता चलो? कोने कोने पे लिखा है ना, जैसे दाने दाने पे लिखा होता है खाने वाले का नाम, जब पे कोने कोने पे लिखा है डिटेल्स, है ना। तो इफ यू लुक एट द राइट लेफ्ट हैंड साइड बॉटम, तो आपको दिखाई देगा 16 कॉलम्स एंड 700 रोज, ठीक है। और कॉलम प्रोफाइलिंग बेस्ड अप टू 1000 रोज। यहाँ पर जो आपको डेटा दिखाई दे रहा है वो सिर्फ 100 रोज का डेटा दिखाई दे रहा है ना। व्हेन यू स्क्रॉल डाउन तो और डेटा अनफोल्ड होता जाएगा धीरे धीरे धीरे, लेकिन ये हमारे को सैंपल डेटा दिखाई दे रहा है, ठीक है। नाउ ये जो ऊपर दिखाई देता है जहां पे अनटाइटल्ड लिखा है, व्हाट इज दिस कॉल्ड? दिस कॉल्ड द टाइटल बार। उसके बाद जो है होम, ट्रांसफॉर्म, ऐड कॉलम, व्हाट आर दीज? व्हाट आर दीज कॉल्ड? टैब्स, वेरी गुड, टैब्स। और टैब्स के नीचे वाला जो सेक्शन है, व्हाट इज दिस कॉल्ड? एक्सेल में भी होता है ये। टर्मिनोलॉजी, व्हाट्स देयर इन द नेम? रिबन, बार नहीं, बार, नो बार। ठीक है, ओनली रिबन। ओके, दिस ओनली रिबन. So you will see a ribbon over here, right? Now I ask you all this because I'll be using these terms more frequently now. तो आपको पता हो रहा है, ठीक है, ribbon क्या है या टैब क्या है. So every tab has some functionalities और ribbon के अंदर if you see in the home ribbon है ना, there are some sections like close and apply, उसके बाद new query है, फिर query है, फिर sort है. These are called as section and each section has different commands, correct? Now, below that, what is this where you can see some formula? Can you see some formula bar? Bar. हाँ, ये यहाँ पर you will get the formula. You don't have to type. Excel में टाइप करना पड़ता है. यहाँ पे ऑटोमेटिकली इनबिल्ट है, इसलिए इसका नाम पावर बीआई इंटेलिजेंस. ठीक है, पावर क्वेरी भी उसी का ही वो है. So it is automatically having some formula and it uses a language which is called as mashup language, M language. ठीक है, चलो उसके बाद we have headers. These are called as headers. Excel में रो और कॉलम होते हैं ना. What is the difference between a row and a column? कौन सी वाली हॉरिजॉन्टल होती है, कौन सी वर्टिकल? करेक्ट. कई बार लोग गलती कर देते हैं, है ना, तो उसके लिए मैंने एक एक्रोनिम बना लिया जस्ट टू कीप इट इन माइंड. HRCV. You are all chartered account. So you will give your CV to whom? HR. HR, horizontal rows, and CV, columns are vertical. HRCV. ठीक है. और I went to UP last year और वहां पर I was taking a session in a college. It was an engineering college. मैं वहां पे पढ़ा रहा था. तो बोले हाँ सर ये तो ठीक है, लेकिन फिर भी याद नहीं रहता है इंग्लिश है ना, हिंदी में कुछ एग्जाम्पल दिए और थोड़ा हमारे स्टैंडर्ड वाला. तो यूपी का स्टैंडर्ड आपको पता है कैसा है. मैंने कहा चलो आपके स्टैंडर्ड का एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. सॉरी. तो मैंने कहा ये क्या है, आई नीड अ बॉटल. वहां पे तो है ना यूपी. तो मैंने कहा ये कैसा है, इसकी पोजीशन कैसी है, तो कैसी है अभी, खड़ी है ना, वर्टिकल है. और बॉटल के अंदर जो होता है वो इंसान के अंदर जाता है, फिर पोजीशन कैसी हो जाती है, वर्टिकल. अरे समझ गया ना. हाँ. So this is vertical and this is horizontal. So columns are always vertical and rows are always horizontal. ठीक है. Now what is the point of discussing column and row over here? ठीक है, column और row बताता हूँ क्यों डिस्कस करना इंपॉर्टेंट है. Now can you add any rows in Power Query? Can you add more rows to Power Query? Yes or no? And would there be any need to add? जरूरत पड़नी चाहिए क्या उसकी? क्यों? डिपेंड. आप एक बार बताएं, क्लाइंट ने आपको जीएसटी का डेटा दिया, सेल्स डेटा दिया या इनपुट लेजर दे दिया, आप उसमें अपनी तरफ से कुछ रोज ऐड करोगे क्या? कैसे? देखो, I will explain our point. This is very important to understand over here. See, whenever we are working on data which is provided by any client, correct? We can do analysis. We can to add more value to the data or to get more insight on the data. We can add more columns. We can add more columns, but we can never add any row. A single row we cannot add. समझ में आ रहा है? ये सेल्स डेटा है, 700 रोज का डेटा है. मैं 701 रो में क्या लिखूंगा बताओ? नया रिकॉर्ड कहां से आएगा जब क्लाइंट बोल रहा है दिस इज द कंप्लीट डेटा, ये साल खत्म हो गया, सेल्स खत्म हो गई, बैक डेटिंग सेल्स हो नहीं सकती है, फिर कहाँ से आएगा?
So what?
अपडेटेड टैली। बोलो बोलो।
So what if the data don't have the total row and we want to add it?
Correct. So exception. If we can add a total row, but what I wanting to explain is that we cannot add any data. That is again a total. That is the analysis of the data. आप total कर रहे हो उसको. आप row data add नहीं कर रहे हो.
But for that we need to add
Row, correct. Okay. Now what we will do is we will not add any rows. We will add some columns. Okay. Now discovery कर रहे हैं हम लोग data. अब data can be divided into two parts. One is qualitative. The other one is quantitative. Now you look at the data and tell me which columns are qualitative, which columns is quantitative.
first four qualitative.
First four columns are qualitative, and the rest, all the remaining columns are quantitative. Can we say? No. Then what about the date column? What about the date column? How can you say the date? Date column, is it qualitative or quantitative? Qualitative. Okay. So how do you decide which column will be qualitative and which column will be quantitative?
इसका सम एवरेज ये सब हो जाए वो क्वांटिटेटिव और जो
चलिए।
यूनिक रहेगा वो
What is your name?
सर रॉनक
Ronak. What is your name? Garv. Tarun. Okay. Now see. दोनों ने एक ही बात कही है ना? Can you repeat?
सर की जो डेटा जिसमें मैं एवरेज सम ये सारी प्रॉपर्टीज कर सकता हूँ वो क्वांटिटेटिव बाकी सारा क्वालिटेटिव
Do you agree with him? What he's saying, I'll just explain. He's saying any data on which I can do a mathematical operation, total, average, that will be a quantitative data. Yes or no? Depends नहीं होगा इसका आंसर. Yes or no में से बता रहा है. हर चीज डिपेंड नहीं होती. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. कितने प्रतिशत लोग बोल रहे हैं? Raise your hand. अभी आवाज तो ज्यादा की आई थी, हाथ का ज्यादा की नहीं आ रही. Properly be confident. Come on. नहीं तो नो बोल रही हूँ. Why?
सम करने की अगर ऐसे बोल रहे हैं कि सम कर सकते हो तो सम तो 2014 ईयर लिखा हुआ है, उनका भी हो जाएगा तो वो तो कोई क्राइटेरिया नहीं हुआ उसको डिस्टिंग्विश करने का.
What is your name?
आरुषि.
Clap for her. Now let me explain it. What she said, we all can learn from each other, right? What she said, there is a column which is year column in the data. There is a column which is month number. It is numeric, it is quantitative data, right? Can you add 2 years, 2014 plus 2015? Yes, you can obviously add. You will get 2049. Add तो ही जाएगा ना. लेकिन हाँ 4049. Correct? उसका कोई purpose है, उसका कोई use है, उसका कोई sense है नहीं. But number है इसलिए quantitative है, ऐसा तो. उसका एवरेज ले लिया आपने 2 साल का एवरेज ईयर्स का, कुछ उससे कुछ वैल्यू होगा, निकलेगा नहीं. So any data, although it can be a numeric data, but it cannot be classified as a quantitative data only because on the basis it is a number. It will be categorized as a qualitative data if it is talking about the data present in the table. For example, when I say that there is a column called as sales of COD. Now there are some numbers in the sales, right? So there is the first number in the gross sales is 32,370. That number is talking about sale, correct? If you see, look at the other number 26,420. The number is also talking about sale. you can compare both the numbers. You can say the previous number is bigger than this number. You can take a total, you can take an average, you can do anything, right? But with the year or the month, you cannot do that kind of calculation. So whenever, if it is a numeric number also, but we cannot do any further calculations on that number that will add more value to the data, they will always be qualitative data, right? And can you categorize the qualitative data and get more information with the support of quantitative data? Yes. So if I have to summarize this data, I can say year-wise sales, country-wise sales, segment-wise sales, product-wise sales, right? तो जिस डेटा के बेसिस पे आप फर्दर एनालिसिस कर सकते हो वो सारा डेटा क्वालिटेटिव डेटा कहलाएगा। ठीक है, मतलब आप एक स्ट्रक्चर तैयार कर लोगे, तो स्ट्रक्चर तैयार करने के लिए जो हेडर्स होंगे वो क्या होगा, वो क्वालिटेटिव डेटा होगा, और स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर जो वैल्यू फिल होंगी वो क्वांटिटेटिव होगी। इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन? ठीक है, क्लियर है? ओके, नाउ विद दिस, नाउ कैन यू टेल मी, अभी तक हम लोग प्रैक्टिकल काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, लैपटॉप पे है लेकिन यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, अभी हम क्या यूज कर रहे हैं, ये। ठीक है, अब आपको मुझे बताना है, लुक एट द डेटा, लुक एट द क्वांटिटेटिव कॉलम एंड गेस एंड टेल मी व्हाट मोर कॉलम्स वी कैन ऐड which is not a part of the data to enhance the analysis or the quality of the data or add value to the data. Very good. What is your name? This girl? Varinya. But difficult names. Okay. So she was right. And then I got subsequent answers also from him also. What is your name?
Harshit.
Harshit. ये easy था. ठीक है, तो अभी इन्होंने क्या कहा कि we can add a column which is important column but which is not in the data set, which is the gross profit ratio. We have sales, we have profit divided by sales, we can find out GP ratio, and GP ratio will help us in telling what percentage margin we are earning, and then we can guide the business accordingly कि यार ये वाले प्रोडक्ट आप ज्यादा बेचो, इसमें ज्यादा कमाई है, ये वाले प्रोडक्ट कम बेचिए, इसमें कम मार्जिन। ठीक है, one column is we will add is GP ratio. Second, what trend? हाँ, एनालिस देखो यहाँ पर कॉलम ऐड करना है, मतलब एवरी रो विल हैव a number, correct? Trend analysis will not be a column, it will be a chart, it is a result, right? So I'm just talking about inputs. हाँ, कॉस्ट टू सेल्स रेशियो भी निकाल सकते हैं हम, COGS डिवाइड बाय सेल्स, कितना परसेंट कॉस्ट आ रहा है, which is contrary to the GP ratio.
Discount ratio of sale.
डिस्काउंट एज अ परसेंटेज ऑफ सेल्स, ठीक है, कितना परसेंट आप ऑफर कर रहे हैं डिस्काउंट, ठीक है, दो कॉलम ऐड हो गए। ठीक है, ये न्यूमेरिक क्वांटिटेटिव कॉलम है। नाउ कैन यू टेल अबाउट द क्वालिटेटिव कॉलम्स व्हिच वी कैन ऐड? क्वालिटेटिव, नाउ दो क्वांटिटेटिव कॉलम हम ऐड करेंगे, जीपी रेशियो का, एक डिस्काउंट टू सेल्स वाला। क्वालिटेटिव कॉलम और कौन से ऐड कर सकते हैं?
Product wise sale.
कस्टमर का
इसके अंदर से ही निकालना है, और कोई डेटा मांगना नहीं है कस्टमर से, जो डेटा दिया उसी में से एनालिसिस
Product
करना है।
wise sale कितनी हो?
वो तो है ना हमारे पास, प्रोडक्ट का नाम तो ऑलरेडी है, तो प्रोडक्ट वाइज सेल तो वैसे ही निकाल देंगे। जो इसमें नहीं है, लेकिन आप अपने एक्यूमेन से वो तो हम फॉर्मूला लगा के निकाल देंगे।
अपन थ्रेशोल्ड लेते हैं कि 1000 से ज्यादा है।
वेरी गुड, थोड़ा सा और इसको, ठीक है, नहीं वो सब डेटा हमारे पास ट्रेंड हो गया ना वो तो। व्हाट ही इज सेइंग, व्हाट इज योर नेम? नमोकार। व्हाट ही हैज सजेस्टेड इज, देखो ये होता है एनालिटिकल थिंकिंग। लर्निंग टेक्नोलॉजी इज द नेक्स्ट टास्क। द फर्स्ट टास्क इज टू ट्रेन आवर ब्रेन टू थिंक इन द एनालिटिकल व्यू। जब तक हमें पता ही नहीं है, आई हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू टेकन कोचिंग फ्रॉम जेके सर क्लास? नो वन। ओके, आई बीन,
जयपुर में,
ये सब जयपुर में ही है। ओके, So now why I took the name of JK sir, because I have been a JK sir student throughout. मैं बॉम्बे से पढ़ाई किया था. So he used to teach costing that time and he is very good in costing. तो कोई भी क्वेश्चन समझाते थे तो बच्चे कैलकुलेटर हाथ उठा लेते सॉल्व करने के लिए. And he used to shout like anything. बोले कैलकुलेटर क्यों लिया आपने, क्या कैलकुलेट करोगे, पहले बताओ कि what you want to calculate, what is the crux of this problem, what are we going to do, what is the approach that you are going to take. Calculator is the last step. First you validate your process, your thought process, है ना. तो अगर आपको क्लाइंट को अप्रोच करना है तो पहले आप एक बात तो बनाएंगे ना कि उसको क्या आंसर करना है, उससे क्या क्वेश्चन पूछना है, फिर फाइनल जो आउटकम आएगा वो बाद में आएगा, लेकिन पहले एक थॉट प्रोसेस होना चाहिए. तो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज व्हाट एवर एनालिसिस वी आर गोइंग टू डू विल डू, but before doing that analysis we are creating a approach for data analysis, right? So we will add two columns to this data. One will be GP ratio, one will be discount to sales. What will be the third column we are going to add? What he was suggesting now, Namkar, lot size. मैं इसको precisely एक नाम देता हूँ. We will create a lot size. Now units sold are there. Now I'll show you how to do analysis. आप लोग unit sold वाले column पे click कीजिए. Can you see a drop down? Click on the unit sold column. Yeah, we can sort it. But what I want you to do is click on this unit sold and what is the range that you get? Starting number क्या है? 200. और आखिरी number क्या है? That means the unit sold in one order is ranging from 200 to 4500, let's say. Okay. Now, if I want to do the analysis, can I say we can group the units sold into three categories, three buckets? 4000 से ज्यादा वाला यूनिट जो बिका वो लार्ज लॉट, 2000 से 4000 वाला मीडियम लॉट और 2000 से कम वाला स्मॉल लॉट, राइट, और एनी अदर पैरामीटर. सो वी कैन डिवाइड अ लॉट साइज में कर सकते हैं. दूसरा अप्रोच क्या हो सकता है? इफ यू लुक एट द प्रॉफिट, डू यू सी सम नेगेटिव्स एज वेल? व्हाट डज इट मीन? लॉस. तो क्या हम एक कॉलम बना सकते हैं कि कितने ट्रांजेक्शंस में लॉस हुआ, कितने में प्रॉफिट हुआ? हो सकता है ना. ठीक है. So what we are going to do next is we are going to create two columns which will be quantitative columns. Two columns will be which will be qualitative column. Correct? Now how to do it? Now I'm going to show you. So we will add a column. We will click on add column. ठीक है. और add column में देखो आपको बहुत सारे ऑप्शन दिखाई देंगे. I'm just zooming my screen so that you can see it properly. Can you see column from example, custom column, invoke custom function, conditional column? Correct? So which column should we select? First, we are going to prepare GP ratio. GP ratio. So we will select a custom column. Custom because customize. So we will customize and we will put a formula, simple formula. So first we will give the name of the column as GP ratio. Okay. And now see in Excel also you type a formula. You start with equals to. ठीक है. अब ये GP ratio कैसे निकलेगा? यहाँ पे और सारे कॉलम्स का नाम है. तो प्रॉफिट डिवाइड बाय व्हाट? Sales. So either you can type or you can select from the right hand side column list. Profit divided by sales. Multiply by 100 करने का जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है. So don't multiply by 100 right now. So it is saying no syntax error have been detected. We can click on OK. Do you get a column? Have you got a column? Now what is the data type of the column? What is the data type of the column? ABC123. What is this ABC123? ABC123 means it is a text as well as a number, but it is a number we know. And it is a percentage rather. So we will convert this into percentage. Now, are we getting the GP ratio in percentage? Everyone? Right? Yeah. So what I did is, have you created that column, this GP ratio? Right? Now this is coming in decimals. I want to convert into percentage. How will I do that? I'll click on ABC and I'll click on percentage. Done. And I've not written any formula anywhere. वो कस्टम कॉलम के लिए हमने फॉर्मूला लिखा था, यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा है, इसको क्लिक करा है बस, और इट इज ऑटोमेटिकली डूइंग. नाउ नेक्स्ट कॉलम व्हाट वी नीड टू क्रिएट, discount to sales. So we will again go to custom column, add a custom column, and we will say, we will call it as discount percentage. And what will be the formula for this discount? Divide by sales. You can select gross sales also. Okay, on the gross sales we are giving some discount. So discount divided by gross sales, and click on OK. Have we got one more column? Now it is showing 0 everywhere. Can you tell me why it is showing 0? Discount 0 नहीं है, decimal में है, और वो पीछे वाला 0.00 नहीं दिखा रहा है. ठीक है, तो what we will do is we will convert this data type into percentage, and now you see 000 somewhere 1%, 2% also. Getting it? Clear? तो हमारा दो quantitative column add हो गया. Now we want to add a qualitative column for finding out whether it is profit or loss. तो उसके लिए what column should I add? हमें प्रॉफिट देख के बताना है कि ये जो प्रॉफिट वाला नंबर है, ये जो ट्रांजैक्शन है, ये प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रांजैक्शन था या लॉस मेकिंग ट्रांजैक्शन. करेक्ट. देखो आपका चलना चाहिए तुरंत, ठीक है ना. तो 5G के जमाने में हम लोग हैं, तो योर ब्रेन शुड इमीडिएटली गिव यू सिग्नल कि हाँ ये किसकी बात हो रही, कंडीशन की बात हो रही है. ठीक है, सो वी हैव टू ऐड कंडीशन पार्ट. What is the name we should give it to it? Profit status we can say. Profit status. Now what column we should take for analysis? ये कंडीशन किस पे लगाएंगे? प्रॉफिट पे. लॉजिक क्या होगा, चेक क्या करेंगे? ग्रेटर देन 0. करेक्ट. अगर ग्रेटर देन 0 है तो क्या बोल रहे हैं इसको? प्रॉफिट या प्रॉफिटेबल बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है, और अगर लेस देन 0 है तो लॉस, और अगर इज इक्वल टू 0 हुआ तो ब्रेक इवन. तो उसके लिए ऐड क्लॉज करेंगे और प्रॉफिट में लिखेंगे इज इक्वल्स टू 0, और उसके आगे रिजल्ट लिखेंगे ब्रेक इवन. Now you understand how Power Query is much more easier and faster than Excel. अगर ये काम Excel में करना होता तो आपको if लगना पड़ता, और if के अंदर भी nested if inside if, because there are two conditions.
तो ये जो आप जैसे लिख रहे हो प्रॉफिटेबल, ब्रेक इवन, तो these words are actually recognized by the Power BI.
Right.
कि ब्रेक इवन का मतलब ये है कि
नहीं, actually these words we recognize these words. Power BI is just putting the information in these words, like wherever the mathematical.
so we
number,
define these words.
we define these words.
That what is break even.
Correct. Right. So we just call them. If the number is 0, then call it as break even. We understand what is break even. Machine doesn't understand what is break even. But we are telling them कि categorize this into break even, or categorize this into a loss, categorize this into profit. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Nested if. So we will click on OK.
The difference is that you need not to get the formula again and again. क्योंकि
Correct.
वो एक्सेल में जब वहां जाते हैं अपन उस टेक्स्ट में,
देखिए देखिए देखिए,
बहुत लंबा फॉर्मूला होता है.
see this, you had asked this question क्योंकि इसने पूछा, इसलिए मैं बता रहा हूँ. Table dot add column profit status each if, यहाँ पे if लिखा है इसने, profit greater than 0 then profitable, else if profit is equal to 0 then break even, else loss.
तो वो ऊपर फॉर्मूला अपने आप ही बना रहा है.
ये इनबिल्ट है. ये अपने आप फॉर्मूला बना रहा है, प्लस ऑल द स्टेप्स आर गेटिंग रिकॉर्डेड. जो भी आप काम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे ये सारा रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है. करेक्ट. So we added one more column. What we will do is we will call it as a text column because the result is text. Profitable, break even और loss तीनों आ गया. Clear? One last thing we'll do before we go to visualization. Now, see, we will add one more column. ठीक है?
विकास को प्रॉपर तरीके से
एक और कॉलम ऐड करेंगे हम, कौन सा? लॉट साइज। अब लॉट साइज में भी कंडीशन है, अगर 4000 से ज्यादा है तो लार्ज, 2 से 4000 के बीच में तो मीडियम, और 2000 से कम है तो स्मॉल। तो अगेन विच कॉलम नीड टू बी एडेड? Conditional column. So again you will give, now see it is automatically giving you a structure. आपको ऑटोमेटिकली एक स्ट्रक्चर दे रहा है ना, आपको बस वैल्यूज डालना है उसके अंदर। अब आप क्या करोगे, इसको बोलोगे लॉट साइज, we are calling this column as dot size, and then which I need to take as a base?
unit sold.
Unit sold. If the unit sold is more than 4000, then what we are going to call it as? Large stock. Is it? If the unit sold is more than 2000, then we are going to call it as a medium. And if the unit sold is less than 2000, we'll call it as a small. I need not write a if, क्योंकि जो unit automatically balance उसमें ही चला जाएगा. We'll click on OK. So even these columns are created. Else if last में, see I'll show you again. Either else में. So you'll add a clause over here. Getting it? So you're using it for the first time, but it is logical. Like everything, whatever you're doing, although it is new, but it is understandable, right?
Otherwise, they keep on doing.
Right.
Actually.
Exactly. So that is why you are able to do it fast, because the logics are clear. Now let us go. Now once we have done this much, okay, now the purpose is to do the analysis and visualization. We have transformed the data to our understanding, as per our understanding, right? Now let us go back to Power BI. So how do we go back to Power BI? We will click on Home tab and we will click on Close and Apply. Close and Apply.
हो गया अच्छा फोन आ गया तो ट्रेन है कितनी बजे पौने 6 तो 5:30 तो बज गए तो जा भाई रात की ट्रेन है बाहर से आता है
स्टार्टिंग से
ठीक है. So we have loaded the data, but can you see the data? कहाँ चला गया तो? No, my question is simple. Where is the data? ढूंढो कहीं तो मिलेगा.
टेबल व्यू है ना,
फिर लोग तो मैक्सिमम लोगों की 4 आंखें हैं यहाँ पर. अरे I am just asking a simple question. Where is the data? Can you see data written somewhere? हाँ, screen पे.
right
This is on the right hand side panel. Can you see data? Yes. Can you see data? Can you see sheet 1? Click on that arrow. Now can you see all the headers of the data? Headers. जो टेबल हमारे पास सी डेटा था उस सबके हेडर दिखाई दे रहे हैं हमको राइट हैंड साइड. कैन यू सी ऑल दिस? And can you see the columns which we created, like lot size, GP ratio, correct? Now I have one question for you all. I've been asking so many questions and you have been answering. One more question. Why does some of the columns or some of the fields is having a sigma and others not? Why? ठीक है, तो देखो ये क्या कह रहा है कि जहां पे भी न्यूमेरिक डेटा है, जहां पे आप सम कर सकते हैं, उसको इसने कैटेगराइज कर दिया एज अ क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा. बट इफ यू लुक एट द फील्ड्स एंड इफ यू गो डाउन, ईयर को भी सम कर दिया है, इवन मंथ नंबर को भी सम कर दिया है. तो ये सही है या गलत है? दिस इज नॉट राइट, राइट? नाउ व्हाट वी शुड डू? गलत को सही करना पड़ेगा, छोड़ देंगे, करना पड़ेगा. तो सही कैसे करेंगे? नाउ व्हाट यू डू इज यू क्लिक ऑन द मंथ नंबर. नो, डोंट go any dots. Just click on this month number and go on the top of the screen. Look at the top of the screen. Do you see column tools? Do you see data category and summarization? तो summarization में जहाँ sum लिखा है उसको don't summarize कर. अब जाके देखो सिग्मा हट जाएगा, हट गया. ईयर पे भी सेम करेंगे. We'll go to the year and then we will call it as don't summarize. हट गया. Okay, now let me show you a tour of our way. Okay, we will create some visuals, 15-20 minutes, and then you will get an idea of how to create a dashboard. Okay, because the purpose is to give you a brief knowledge about how the process works. Then the more you will work on it, the more refined it will be. Now there are icon sites. Can you see 4 icons?
Yes, sir.
पहले वाले पे हाँ चार्ट बना हुआ है, उसका नाम है रिपोर्ट व्यू. वहां पे रिपोर्ट दिखेगी. दूसरे वाले पे जाइए, टेबल व्यू, क्लिक करो उस पे. देखो वो आ गया. कौन? डेटा. देव नहीं आया. ठीक है, तो डेटा आ गया है. जिस डेटा को हमने किया था, लेकिन ये जो जीपी रेशियो है वो अभी भी कैसे आ रहा है, उसको ठीक करना पड़ेगा. उस पर क्लिक करेंगे हेडिंग पे एंड क्लिक ऑन द परसेंटेज. Done, everyone? Now go to the third icon. In the click on the third icon. What is the name of the third icon? What do you see? Name of the table. है ना? Table में जो data है sheet 1 में. Now we can rename the sheet 1. So click on the 3 dots and there is the option of rename. है कहीं? नहीं है, कोई बात. Let's go to the report view only. Come to the data set. और जहां पे sheet 1 लिखा है उस पे राइट क्लिक करिए and do you get an option of rename? Click on the rename and we will call it as a sales data. Rename this sheet as a sales data. ठीक है? Done, everyone? Now climax of the movie has come. ठीक है? अब वो वाला समय आ गया जिसका आपको इंतजार था. ठीक है, बेसब्री से वो घड़ी आ गई है। ठीक है, तो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू प्रिपेयर द विजुअल्स। ठीक है, जिसके लिए हम लोग यहाँ पर हैं। ठीक है, लेकिन क्या होता है कि अगर कोई भी चीज आसानी से मिल जाए, जल्दी से मिल जाए, तो उसकी वैल्यू नहीं होती। तो वी हैव टू अर्न दैट एक्चुअली। ठीक है, तो नाउ यू हैव वर्क सो हार्ड, तो अब वो टाइम आ गया है ना। चलिए, नाउ सी, यहाँ यहाँ तक का प्रोसेस जो था ना, इट वाज, आई वुड नॉट से डिफिकल्ट, इट वाज ट्रिकी। थोड़ा लॉजिक की जरूरत थी, थोड़े टेक्निक की जरूरत थी, थोड़ा अंडरस्टैंडिंग की जरूरत थी। अब जो जरूरत है वो क्रिएटिविटी की जरूरत है। आई कॉल CAs as creative accountant. You are all chartered accountant, but now we have to be creative. ठीक है, बिकॉज यू आर गोइंग, जो AI है वो जनरेटिव है, वो जनरेट करता है और हम लोग क्रिएट करेंगे। तो what we are going to create, जैसे a craftsman what he does, he has mud, उससे वो बना देता है। ठीक है, like this. So what we are going to do, we have a data, we have the necessary equipments. ठीक है, बस हमको उसमें शेप देना है। ठीक है, so what we will do is now is, see, let me show you how does Power BI function or look like. Now see, you see this area which is blank, दिख रहा है आपको blank? वहां पे सेंटर में क्या लिखा है? Build visuals with your data. और उसके नीचे लिखा है select or drag field from the data pane onto the report canvas. What is the meaning of canvas?
जिसके ऊपर विजुअलाइजेशन होगा।
जिसके ऊपर विजुअलाइजेशन होगा, करेक्ट। सो प्रोजेक्टर स्क्रीन पे प्रोजेक्ट कर रहा है, और कैनवास जो होता है उसके आप पेंटिंग करते हैं, तो जिसके ऊपर आप पेंटिंग करते हैं वो कैनवास है, वो एरिया है। तो हियर वी आर गोइंग टू क्रिएट द विजुअल्स। नाउ टू क्रिएट द विजुअल, आपके पास पर्दा आ गया, आपके पास वो पेंटिंग का शीट आ गई, आपको क्या चाहिए? ब्रश चाहिए, कलर चाहिए, एंड देन योर क्रिएटिविटी कि क्या बनाने वाले हो। ठीक है, तो ये हमारे पास ये सारा जो ब्रश है वो ये रहे। यू सी बिल्ड, यहाँ पे जितने भी आइकन दिखाई दे रहे हैं ये सब क्या है? दीज आर विजुअल्स, these are the graphs or charts or the different visual options that you have. And how many are they? Can you see? एक रो में 6 है और ऐसे 7 रो हैं। 6 7 42 plus there is one more 43, and there are 3 dots which says get more visuals. That means in Power BI you can create more than 42 visuals. 42 visuals हम बना सकते हैं। ठीक है, plus I told you when you go to get data and you click on more, go to get data and click on more. get data देखो ऊपर ऑप्शन है होम में, उसमें मोर पे क्लिक करिए और जस्ट सी द लिस्ट, हाउ बिग इज द लिस्ट। इट स्टार्ट्स विद एक्सेल, कीप ऑन ड्रैगिंग ड्रैगिंग ड्रैगिंग, सो मेनी ऑप्शंस आर देयर, इवन ऐसे ऐसे नाम है जो आपने कभी सुने भी नहीं हो। इतने सारे डेटा से आप डेटा ला सकते हैं, जिसमें जोहो भी है, जो इज द क्लाउड अकाउंटिंग टूल, राइट। एंड नाउ हमारे लिए काम का क्या होता है? टैली। तो टैली का डेटा हम इंपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। टैली टाइप करके देखो, टैली दिख रहा है क्या आपको? नहीं दिख रहा। बट डू यू नो समथिंग अबाउट ODBC? ODBC is the connector which can help you connect data from Tally to Power BI, Excel और Power BI also. तो ODBC कनेक्टर है जिससे आप पुल कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, बट अभी हम ये सब नहीं करेंगे। अभी आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू हाउ टू क्रिएट विजुअल्स। वंस यू लर्न दिस देन यू कैन एक्सपेरिमेंट ऑन योर। ठीक है, चलिए। नाउ व्हाट यू विल डू इज सिंपली, इन्होंने क्या बोला? ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप करो। तो हम कोई एडिटिंग नहीं करेंगे, कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं लिखेंगे, हम सीधा ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप करेंगे, उठा और पटक, ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप। ठीक है, so what we are going to do, let us first put sales here, drag sales and put it in the canvas, drop it in the canvas and see what do you get. You get a number or you get a bar? Column, है ना? मेरे को नंबर आया। कि मेरा पावर भी है तुम्हारे से डिफरेंट।
हमारी से कॉलम सिलेक्ट हुआ है।
हाँ करेक्ट। नाउ सी, अब आपका कॉलम बन गया ना, कोई बात नहीं, नो प्रॉब्लम। व्हाट यू डू इज यू क्लिक ऑन दिस कॉलम एंड फ्रॉम द विजुअल्स जस्ट सेलेक्ट 1 2 3। ये आपको दिख रहा है 1 2 3, दिस कॉल्ड एज अ कार्ड। क्लिक करो इस पे। मल्टी रो नहीं, उसके पास में देखो कार्ड 1 2 3 क्या लिखा है, क्लिक ऑन इट। नाउ डू यू आल्सो गेट दिस नंबर? What is this number representing? ठीक है। Now what we will do is simply we will click on profit. We will click on profit and see what do you get. Click on profit. What do you get? Do you get one more number? 16.89. नहीं? Yeah, हाँ. आ गया? What is the meaning of this M over here? Million. है ना? Numbers are in millions. Rupees are in millions. So it is 118.73 million. It is 16.89 million. ठीक है? Now we want to also find out the GP ratio. जो हमने कैलकुलेशन करके लाया है। Now let's click on the GP ratio. Now what do you get? Is it right? Then average. ठीक है? Now you should know how to convert a sum into average. क्योंकि तो by default क्या लेता है? sum लेता है। ठीक है? अब क्या करेंगे? Now you see this suggest का visual, this window over here. दिख रहा है आपको? Do you see this window over here? See, when you click on this chart, this number, you get this 3 bars. Click on this 3 bars. You will get this panel. दिख रहा है? जहां पे आपका टोटल सम आया रेशियो का, उस पर क्लिक करिए ये विजुअल के ऊपर और ऐसा विंडो आएगा। आया नहीं आया? क्या आया?
3 डॉट्स आ रहे हैं और
एक मिनट वेट यू क्लिक ऑन दिस। अच्छा 3 डॉट्स आ रहे हैं।
हाँ ये पीछे वाले आ रहे हैं।
हाँ इसमें ओके। अच्छा ये नहीं आ रहा है, ये वाला आप लोग को नहीं आ रहा है। ओके चलो कोई बात नहीं, नो प्रॉब्लम। व्हेन यू क्लिक ऑन इट, डू यू सी दिस फिल्टर्स और फॉर्मेट ऑप्शन? ये राइट हैंड साइड पे पैनल दिखाई दे रहा है आपको? ये बिल्ड, ये वाला ऑप्शन दिख रहा है, बिल्ड वाला सेकंड ऑप्शन। क्लिक ऑन द सेकंड बटन। अच्छा ये फील्ड दिखाई दे रही, फील्ड बटन्स के नीचे फील्ड, यहाँ पे सम ऑफ जीपी रेशियो पे क्लिक करें तो सम दिखाई दे रहा, समेशन में सम। जस्ट क्लिक ऑन एवरेज इंस्टेड ऑफ सम। आ गया 27.90। Now let us think what has happened. So we collected the data from Excel or a data source. We modified the data into, listen. What we did, we are just recapping what we did. We took the data from Excel or any data source. We modified the data using Power Query, and then we are picturizing it into Power BI. There is no visual, it is all numbers. But did you do any calculation? Did you write any formula? No. But still we are getting these numbers, right? Now, these are total numbers. But I want to see the breakup of these sales. Breakup as to what? Let's say country-wise sales. And I want to find out to what all countries I'm selling my product. ठीक है? और वो हमको मैप पे देखना है। Map. So what I'm going to do now is, let us click on this globe. Everyone click on the globe. Click on the globe. ये रहा ग्लोब ग्लोब जैसे ही दिखेगा है ना मैप ग्लोब हाँ करेक्ट now now see disabled आ रहा है right what you will do is everyone what you will do is you'll go to file menu go to the file menu everyone in the file menu go to options and settings since you are using it for the first time you have to do some settings over here and then go to options again file options and settings and options here ये विंडो ओपन हो गया ऑप्शंस का now go to security go to security scroll down do you see map and fit visuals वहां पे देखो अनचेक होगा आपका put a tag put a tick mark उसके ऊपर वाले पे टिक लगाइए put a check mark over here put a tick over here put a tick over here security in the options security and map put a tick done done click on ok click on ok now try now see if you are getting the map or not डिलीट करके उसको वापस से नया मैप दो वापस से ग्लोब पे क्लिक करो यू विल गेट नाउ आ गया now what you'll do see what to build a map we need some location so do we have any column in the data which has some location country now click on country and see what happens to the map so click on the map first and then click on country so when you click on country do you see the map and the countries and the dots over there see I'm getting this ठीक है और छोटू सा डॉट्स आया होगा छोटू छोटू smaller dots you can see now let us convert now let us work on the beautification of this map now what are these dots showing you that your presence is are in those countries आप उस country में sell कर रहे हैं ठीक है now do you see the button on the right hand side the format button do you see the format button click on that now click on category label ठीक है category label को on कर देंगे and we will increase the size of this so we'll see the name of the countries also secondly in the map settings you will make it light and finally yeah just give me 1 minute just give me 1 minute कितने लोगों का अभी तक मैप नहीं आया है रेज योर हैंड्स हाँ you're not getting map नहीं when you are clicking on the globe what is happening
कंट्री का वो है वर्ड
कंट्रोल Z कर पर इसको हटा तो हम प्रॉफिट में ले पड़ पाएगा ठीक है तो बड़ा वाला हाँ
You have to connect your system to the net for the map to display. Okay. So internet, because it takes the value from the internet. So click on that. Now. Okay, now see, we have got the map also. Okay, we have got the map. Now, see, you will not have the different colors on your map, right? And you will not have the company country name also on the map. So now, how to get that? So you'll click on format, click on the map, click on the format, and then you have the option of legend. Click on legend, turn on the legend. Turn on the legend.
On
Now here, getting it?
Legend disabled नहीं तो वो ऑन नहीं हो पा रहा
एक मिनट, वो इसलिए नहीं हो रहा है बिकॉज यू नॉट पुट एनीथिंग इन द लेजेंड. लेजेंड बनने के लिए पहले लेजेंड में कुछ आना तो पड़ेगा, तभी तो इनेबल होगा. तो क्या करोगे, यू विल पुट द कंट्री इनटू लेजेंड हियर इन दिस बिल्ड. लेजेंड में कंट्री रखिए. Alright. And in the bubble size put sales. In the bubble size put sales. So you'll see bigger circles there. Here, drag and drop, simple drag and drop. Now, the cherry on the cake. Now look at the cherry on the cake. Now this is the visual. This is the dashboard we have created, right? Now I told you it is dynamic. Dynamic का मतलब क्या होता है? Change होना चाहिए. ठीक है? So it is right now showing me overall sales, overall profit, overall GP. Now I want to see the country-wise position of sales, segment-wise position of sales, or the product-wise position of sales. I want to see all this. So what we will do is we will select a slicer. Click on slicers. ये देखो यहाँ पर ऊपर there is a filter kind of icon. Can you see that? Filter kind of icon. Click on this. In the fifth row, third button from the chart, click on this slicer. This is called as a slicer. Okay. And in the slicer, put country. Slicer के अंदर country पे टिक कर देंगे. Is it clear? In the slicer, click on country. Slicer and country. Now, now, now see the magic. Everyone, just focus here for 2 minutes. We are just using this. Just focus here for 2 minutes. Now, if you click on Canada, just look at the numbers. What is the number right now? 118. Now, when you click on Canada, do you see the number changing? And the map also changed. Now, when you click on France, it is taking you to France and numbers are changing. When you click on Germany, numbers are changing. It is taking you to Germany, Mexico, US. Correct? Now, so this country wise information. Now let us click on slicer one more time. And this time we are going to put the lot size. We create a lot size, right? Just put the lot size into the slicer. Put the lot size into the slicer. Okay. And do you see all the three lots? Large, medium, and small. Now see. One more thing. Now click on the small lot. Now if you click on medium and large, in the large, you see only 4 dots in the map. Germany, France, Canada, USA. Mexico is missing. Mexico is not there. So that means the large lot is not sold in Mexico. So you can create filters and you can create a dynamic dashboard using Power BI and do analysis of data. Now we want to find out how many transactions are profitable and how many are lost. So one last slicer we will add. One last slicer we will add, and we will add profit status. Profit status. Last thing. Okay. On the profit status, when you click on loss, it will tell you what is the total loss, what is the total profit, how many is the break even. Okay. So everything is now changing based on your selection of the data. So if you want to find out which country we are making what losses, so you can click on any country and you can find out the loss, amount of loss and amount of sales. Okay. Any questions, anyone? So now, last thing, you save this file. So you press Control S, save, and it will ask for a name. You can give a name of your file and save it. Okay. Now, when you want to share it with the client or anyone, what you need to do is you need to go to the file, export to PDF. So it will create a PDF of what you have created, and you can share that PDF. Okay, so it will come like this. नहीं आया. So some issue, you just check the settings. Restart कर. आप नहीं आया. PDF नहीं आया. Export करोगे आ जाएगा. You have to give the location.
Screen set.
हाँ अभी आ रहा है.
Screen is not there.
So any questions, anyone?
Is there?
हाँ.
Okay, save the.
Yes. आपको check कर. आपके participate करोगे. Okay, so we will have a small quiz now. Okay, I will show a QR code on the screen. Okay, and you will all scan that QR, or you can log into that website also. You can use your phone or your laptop. And small 5 minutes it will take to.
Recording बंद कर दो.
We will do that quiz, and then we will. So just give me 1 minute.
Oh, Vikas,